Na 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 man bad, man bad. Look at him, he is a man bad, and he is a Lego guy. He's man bad, man bad. I don't think the name is trademarked, and I don't really care. He's man bad, man bad, man bad. What's going on, everyone? My name is Tyler, and this is my vlog. I hope that you all have had a good week. Mine hasn't been terrible, so let's just get right into this. As you all have just saw from that random and strange intro, I got myself a new little Lego creature. I'm calling him ManBat. This little guy is what I had been waiting for. Well, not waiting for, but hoping for when I got that freaking fairy. And the reason I got the fairy instead of that guy is because I was feeling for wings, but as you can see, those are actually part of his arms. There we go. Yeah, that's actually part of his arms. What tipped me off was feeling his little hat. I was able to feel the little hat thing. Because without it, it looks like that. But yes, these guys are awesome. And I love collecting them. Which you can... Okay, you can't really see them, but up on there, aside from the red cup, and the Marilyn Monroe photo, and the Betty Page photo that you can't see because of the flag thing. I collect Legos. I don't collect them very often, but I collect Legos. Actually, that set up there, that big set that has the weird flag thing, that is something that a Mr. Zachary Spiegel gave to me a long, long time ago when he was working at, I can't remember what toy store it was. All I know was that it was in the mall, and they were going out of business, and somehow he acquired it and then gave it to me, and it has kind of survived the test of time, other than missing one piece for an oar. Whatever. But yes, I've had it for a long time. I've kept pretty much most of the pieces, aside from that oar. All the little Lego guys that came with that are still with it, and I'm very happy with it. And I'm very happy that it is now constructed and placed at the top of the dresser, amongst a couple of other things. You can't really see the Kraken thing because of the red Thorlo cup. But in front of that, you have a number of the other Lego guys that I've created, going from, let's see, we have Nurse, we have Boxing Guy, we have that fucking fairy, two snowboarding guys that I should have been able to figure out that it was snowboarding guys, my Leprechaun, which was the first one I ever got, and I was very happy with that because it was around that time that Leprechaun things happen, and I'm Irish as hell, so Leprechaun. A Minotaur, Little Red Riding Hood, very small. And then a couple of other things that are not Lego related, but this weird little Abraham Lincoln zombie, Yoshi, the actual little, green thing that Mario likes to ride on, and a weird little robot thing that I got one of the little egg things that are now 75 cents at Toys R Us. Anyhow, and the reason I have frustration with getting these particular things is because I see something that I really want. And they suck because they come in packages like this. So you can't actually see what you're getting. You have an idea what you are going to be getting in the package because of all the little things listed on the front of it. They even give you a what to look out for sheet of all the ones that come in the different things. They've done them in series, so there's only like a limited number. And this one happens to be Series 8, which has ManBat and the fairy. But I am going to be on the lookout for this crazy looking robot guy right there. Number 1, robot with the laser. There's another robot from a different series. I think it might have been 6, if not 5. It was a little windy robot. That guy was cool. I really want him. He seems neat. He will probably be something that I'm going to try to eBay. But, on a lighter note, remember last week how I mentioned that I lost a particular Lego guy thanks to what I'm just going to refer to as a cleaning issue at work? Well, because I have an awesome girlfriend. She's getting me. My little Raph. My little Raph guy. He's somewhere in transit right now and should be showing up any time now. I'm kind of excited. I'm actually very excited. On a lighter note, another lighter note, strange. Lighter notes after lighter notes. Let's just keep this rolling. This is fun. We're just gonna let it happen. As you can see, I've done a little more with my room. I've been able to put up different paintings and pictures and whatnot. We have the Pabst Blue Ribbon The PBR Source Rex. You know what? I'm going to give you guys a little tour along with actually showing you a lot of this stuff that I'm randomly talking about. So, here we go. Laptop's moving. You're moving with me. First and foremost, here's that crazy freaking mirror thing that I was talking about. That's actually the dresser, which is kind of, well, not dresser, but closet, which is kind of empty. Pardon me, I like it like that. I'm still trying to piece everything together. Again, the weird anxiety about unpacking and moving and whatnot. But, first let's start off with that guy. You can see him. I'm trying to set it up so that everyone can see. This is horrible. I need an actual camera, not a laptop. Anyhow, that's that crazy turtle thing. Finally got him hung up there. And we have the PBR Source Rex, which I was able to scoop from. If any of you guys know about Mima's Alaskan Tacos, that was some of the wall art, and I was able to get that from the Mima's Alaskan Tacos guy. This, on the other hand, this is awesome. Trying to cover it so that you can't see the light as bad. So there we go. Now that I know how to work a frickin' camera, apparently. This was in my grandmother's house. This is hilarious because for a short time, she had one of these dogs. It was actually my uncle's, who's been a D-bag lately. I'll explain that later. But in the long run, he bought a dog, and my Bobo ended up taking care of it. But yes, now this picture's in my possession. This dog is hilarious. It's going to bring me all sorts of joy whenever I wake up in the morning. And then we have this that I randomly acquired. This is Marilyn Monroe. A transformer just fell. Mourn his loss. But yes, Marilyn Monroe in 3 different stages. I like Marilyn Monroe. I really like Marilyn Monroe. I don't think I can stress that enough that I like Marilyn Monroe. And then, as you can see here, this is all the craziness that I was talking about. You got the little Lego guys right here, red Solo cup, the Kraken serpent thing, which looks very, very menacing from all angles, especially with the crazy teeth. That sweet warrior Viking ship that I was talking about, that was covering the late, the great Betty Page. Thank you, Susan, for that. As you can see, I haven't gotten rid of it. It's still very much so awesome to me. And then, of course, a couple of different variations of Optimus Prime there. For the most part, barren bookshelf. This is my very small Dolly painting that, dare I say, I think I inadvertently got it for free. I'm not going to explain. I might explain it later. Just not right now. The awesome painting that my girlfriend did. I could explain the history behind that, but I don't know if I should explain the history behind that. I think I did once before, but I didn't go into too much details. I'll give you another little detail about it then. It was in the buff. We had this conversation. In the buff. And then finally, the last little bit of art that I actually have in my room is this. I acquired this alongside the Salvador Dali. And yeah, it's apparently I don't know where the heck it's from, or where exactly that photo was taken. I call it Photo of a Door. It might actually be called Photo of a Door. Let's get back to this vlog, shall we? Alright, if you guys haven't guessed by now, especially with that marginal little tour that I gave you all, I'm a nerd. Yes, I'm a nerd. I'm going to stress this fact once more. I'm a nerd. And so what I'm going to be doing right now, well, not necessarily right now. It's going to be a continuing thing I'm going to randomly throw out through a lot of my vlogs. I have memorabilia. And the best way to show this memorabilia is in shirt form. So I'm going to be wearing shirts. Different shirts. I would show you pants, but let's face it, at least in regards to a video format of this caliber, you're really going to only be able to see the t-shirt in all of its glory within the lower third, actually more like in the lower half of the videos. So without further ado, this is going to be Nerd Month Plus, where I'm going to be wearing different nerd shirts from a specific drawer from the dresser. If I'm not mistaken, it's actually the 3rd drawer down. Those are where all my nerd shirts are. So each week, I'm going to be wearing a different nerd shirt. And when that's done, I will then tell you guys what the next little thing is going to be. when winter comes, it's going to be nothing but long sleeves. I can at least assure you that. But this week's is this awesome thing. If I'm not mistaken, I picked this bad boy up at Target. Might have been a Walmart. I can't remember. One of those really fun t-shirt places that isn't tfury.com. Again, you guys should probably check that place out. My friend Shawnee told me of a couple of others, and once I check them out and possibly purchase some stuff from them, I might throw them a vlog bone as well. Really hope you enjoyed that last one, T-Fury. Doubt you saw it, but I might send you guys a link. But yes, this is the gray Autobot tricolored t-shirt. I've always been a Transformers fan. Transformers and me, we go way back. Okay, we don't go way back. Oh, I take that back. We do go way back. I can remember a time back when I used to go to church. It's weird. That might come up as another thing. Ask about Bible camp. But yes, I am batshit crazy about Transformers, and I have been for a very long time. To me, they're awesome. I mean, just the toys alone, you get 2 different toys, sometimes 3 different toys in one. You have the car, the jet, the gun, the gorilla, depending on which version you got. That's, one form. And then it transforms into a robot. So you have what was a car that transforms into a robot. You have a gorilla that transforms into a robot. You have a gun that transforms into a robot. You have a boombox that transforms into a robot. You have a bunch of crazy stuff that transforms into a robot. And that was an awesome concept. That's where Hasbro started it off. And then they brought in with the folklore and the cartoon and the comics and the Jello pudding. There wasn't any Jello pudding. But yes, it then started this world, an actual world, where it's made people like me go crazy, and I still have an overactive imagination. I'm 25 years old. I have an overactive imagination. I still think that for some reason my van is actually an Autobot, that as soon as I get it fixed and whatnot, it's going to transform and go, hey, thanks, bud, I'm going to go save the world now. But that'll never happen, because this is real life, and that doesn't happen in real life. But I can still hold hope, and it also gives me a reason to keep that van on the road. But yes, I love Transformers, so I'm not trying to say, hey, send me Transformers or anything. I'm just stating a fact. I love Transformers. Look, it's a crazy puppy. I get to point at a crazy puppy now. Weird amounts of energy at 9, 10 at night. I should be wearing down. I should be tired, especially after doing a bunch of stuff for my mom at my grandmother's house. But I'm not. I'm wired. I'm going to blame it solely on the fact that I had a Cuban, a delicious Cuban from the Silver Ring. The one on 301. If you know where it is, go there. It's delicious. Their black beans and rice is fantastic. And you can order it without onions if you're like me and you're crazy and the only time you really like onions is certain situations. But I'm rambling. I really am rambling. I need to talk about other stuff. So let's talk about other stuff, shall we? So I mentioned last week that I was getting angry at DC because they brought that whole, number 0 crap out. Well, needless to say, I finally read them. No one commented in my vlog previously, and I don't care, because I'm just doing this for me. But yes, DC was not doing yet another reboot. It was just kind of an annual thing, where it's like, hey, number 0. If next year they go, hey, number 1, I'm going to be very angry, because that's going to put me in a weird neurotic. I have to organize them accordingly, apparently. I'm insane. But, yes. Again, they did not do yet another reboot. They are continuing from that point. So the next issues of those 2 issues that I mentioned earlier are going to be 13, not 2, or 1, or whatever. Superboy was nothing more than a backstory as to why he is a clone for being a clone of clones and a clone and a half. And then I believe he's Arab? I don't care. Whatever. But yes. Then there's Arab Green Lantern. Technically, they did kill off Hal Jordan. Spoiler alert, they killed off Hal Jordan. Black Lantern. But yes. Technically, they just kind of, threw that in to be like, hey, this is what's going to happen. The Green Lantern series is going to continue. It's going to be number 13. Next time you see it, it's not going to be Green Lantern again, number 1. It might be Green Lantern again, number 1. We'll just have to wait and see. And finally, what I want to talk about today, because I do not want this vlog to go over 20 minutes, even though I do think it's going to go just butt hair over 20 minutes, especially with the intro, the ending, me rambling. So last week I hurt my wrist. if you can see the gnarliness, how it looks kind of kashmucked. You got some bruising, some scarring, some nasties. What happened with this was I was working on a Hyundai Santa Fe doing an AC performance check because it wasn't blowing cold enough. Indeed, it wasn't blowing cold enough. I hook it up. Pressures seemed like they were all right. Sucked it down. It was only... It only had so much R134A in it. This, at this point, I know means nothing to a lot of you folks, but it means something to me because I work on this kind of stuff all the time. Anyhow, working at this company, we do something called a courtesy check, where we courteously check stuff. One of the things we check is coolant. And so I went to go remove the radiator cap, and pretty much when I did, it exploded, geysered, and hit the ceiling of the shop. That's how much force was coming out, and that's also an indication as to how hot it was. Needless to say, yes, it hurt. It wasn't terrible. I went and ran my arm under warm water. It wasn't lukewarm. It was slightly above lukewarm, so it didn't hurt as bad, but it did take a lot of the sting away. But that did lead me to find out, number one, why his pressures were so freaking high when it had the proper charge of R134A, and why only one of his fans was working. The main fan, the radiator fan, the plug-in, which took me about a half hour to finally unplug, was broken. It wasn't broken, it was melted together. And because of that, it melted, it got crap everywhere, it then stopped the flow of electricity to turn the fan on, and this is what was causing that, at least that part of the system, to stay hot. A lot hotter than it should have been, leaving the condenser fan to be on at all times, and poop. So, yeah, because of that, I burned my arm. I found out what was wrong with the guy's car. Didn't fix it because he doesn't want to pay for it. I don't blame him. The pigtail was not a separate available item, so he would have had to replace the entire wiring harness from the PCM to everything else. That was about a clean 150. Or, that's way too high. $1,500 just for a wiring harness. This just goes to prove cars are expensive, and so are the repairs. So if you're one of those buttholes that gets one of them fancy cars and doesn't want to maintain it, here's a little word of advice. If you can't afford the maintenance, don't buy the car. But then again, there are some things that are just, well, expensive as hell to do. Like an entire AC conversion on a 91 Chevy S10. That's R12. We have to replace everything on that bad boy. Everything. Sorry, bro. Anyhow, that about does it for me this week. I hope you all did, in fact, enjoy this, even though it was a lot of ranting and a small tour of my room. I do hope that you guys have a good week. I'm fairly certain I had just already said that, but whatever. Stay tuned next week. I don't know what I'm going to be doing differently, but there is going to be a different nerd shirt from the nerd dresser. And I might have another thing up on the wall, which I could show you guys, or I might actually do something with my room, like put crap on the bookshelves, and again, I'll do another, hey, look at the bookshelf! That was weird. It looked like Rodney Dangerfield there for a second. Awesome. But I should be off. You guys take it easy. Again, thank you for watching. Bye. Ooh, that's spooky.